Hello again, it's Noob, and I'm really excited to be able to bring you another Banggood.com review. I have this 8-piece Dimple lock pick set, which also comes with an acrylic see-through plastic Dimple practice lock and 2 tension wrenches. For those of you who don't know, Banggood.com got in touch with me about doing some reviews. They said, would you like to do some reviews? They let me choose any kind of equipment that I wanted to review for you. And I just said yes. So I went on to Banggood and I chose some items which I thought new or intermediate pickers would be interested in. And certainly I know a lot of new and intermediate pickers that are really interested in Dimple lock picks. Don't know really where to start. And this is a great kit. I know I was supposed to be reviewing it and skipping to the end this early spoils the surprise, but this genuinely, I think, is a really good beginner's Dimple kit. I'll go into why in a second. In terms of price, this comes in at normally at around, depending on the exchange rate on the day, £18. £18 for an 8-piece Dimple pick set with everything that you see before you, and of course a some like glasses case that they just come transported in. I wouldn't recommend this as a permanent storage solution, although it's perfectly acceptable if you don't spend money on another case. So this comes in at £18. If you use the link below and the voucher below, you'll get 25% off this. That makes all of this £14 or thereabouts, again, depending on the exchange rate. That in itself, I think, is brilliant. Now, when I review a lot of kit, I like I said, I tend to wait to the end to tell you what I think. But honestly, this is a really good Dimple kit, in my opinion. Well, at least in the realms of other Chinese Dimple kits. So what do you get for your money? So you get these 8 picks, and they are paired. So you get 2 of the flat flags, and you'll see here that you get some which are slightly smaller and some which are slightly larger, and they're paired off. So this is 2 and 3, this is 4 and 5. There you go. So you get those. You can, of course, file these down to whatever size you wish, but those are sort of paired up as a slightly larger and slightly smaller Dimple flag. You also get an extra flat Dimple flag, which is very similar, I think, to the number 3. Pretty identical, I think you'll find. Yeah, I think that's because it's probably one of the more used flags, and having a spare one, especially if you're new and you're a bit rough, if you go really hammer and tongs and somehow you end up snapping a tip off your Dimple flag, then you might be grateful to have a spare. Also allows you to, of course, make, if you are an intermediate picker and therefore not too rough on your tools, you'll be able to make this into a different shape to the other ones. It also comes with left and right curved flags, which I think are very useful for those smiley keyway Dimple locks, and I tried a couple of these out in one of those keyways and it was absolutely fine. You also get a spare left-hand curve, and I really believe that is a facsimile. I don't think it's a different type of curve there, at least not to my eyes. So you get a reasonable range of flags, enough for a beginner, certainly more than I'd need, and they all come with these nice handles. So why do I really rate this kit? Well, one, handles really nice. They I don't know what they're made of, and they're obviously slid on, and when I open this kit, it smells slightly of detergent, like washing up liquid, so I think they've obviously used that as a lubricant to slide these on, but they are on tight. But it's really comfortable. I really like this, and it's red. It's a really cool colour. The other thing I really like, I mean, not just a little bit, I think this is just brilliant. Look how well finished this pick is. It's by no means perfect, and yes, a perfectionist would like to take a bit more sandpaper to it and shine it up. But you know, you've got a leading edge which is beveled on the actual pick tip itself, and a rounded shaft, which means that when you're in the lock and you're picking away off some square warding, imagine if this was square, it would dig into that corner. That's why when you usually get a cheap Chinese Dimple kit, you end up having to do a lot of finishing work. Now, I won't mention any names, but I have 3 tips here from 3 different easily bought and very popular Chinese Dimple kits here. This is how they normally come. Look at that. Now, this, by the way, is not a one-off. You can see I've got 3 different tips and 3 different kits, and they are all finished. Just about taking the sharp edges off, but that's it. Okay, you put one of those into a Dimple lock, you're bound to snarl up if you don't finish them off. How do they look when you spend 20 minutes or so with some sandpaper and some files? Well, they look like this. Okay, that's pretty nice. I hope you agree. But is that a million miles off how these come out of the packet? No, not really. So you know, straight out of the bag, if you're not into modifying your tools, these are very usable straight out. For an intermediate picker or an advanced picker, you might want to finish these off a bit more yourselves, but you know, these are really good out of the pack, and they're made of a really strong steel. I don't know what exactly, whether it's stainless or tempered or whatever, but it's, you know, it's very durable from my playing with this, I have to say. The only thing I'd say is that whilst all of the flags are well rounded, the curves are slightly less well finished. They are finished nicely, nice smooth backs, rounded off, but not quite as well. I don't know why that is, but yeah, that's just the way it is. The only thing I'd say is missing from this kit, genuinely, the only thing is maybe a flat flag, one which can be used left-handed and right-handed. It's not a deal breaker because you can swap between the picks, but personally I do quite like using a flat flag. What I might do is, if I was going to keep this kit, I would just file this one down so that the flag is a bit flatter. It would slightly weaken the pick, but with care, it will still be a really quite decent flat flag. Okay, so what else do you get with this kit apart from some surprisingly well finished and comfortable picks? You get some tension wrenches. These are really great, actually. I really like this big flat one. Why? Because I've been learning to pick some multi-locks, and this one fits in beautifully just there. It's a really nice tension wrench for that. It doesn't fit in so well on some of the other Dimple locks I have, including this one here. Actually, it's just a bit too thin to take. Well, actually, no, saying that, it fits okay. A bit tight, but it fits. But I would maybe use something like this one instead, which just goes in, and I can slide this in up against the warding, and that provides tension on the lock. Let's have a look at, you might need a few extra tension wrenches. There are plenty out there, and even a standard LZ wrench would work. But it comes with 2, and I think that's a bonus. So you also get a acrylic lock. Oh no, the key doesn't work. Why? Because this is a double-sided one. That means that you actually get 2 different bittings, so 2 different challenges from this. I really like that. I have a couple of other practice Dimple locks which don't have 2 different keys, which is a bit annoying, because if you're using it to practice what you're doing, it's quite nice to have 2 different bittings. Only thing I'd say with this is, and you can see a little bit of remaining just here, is that there's a little bit of like crazing or scuffing around the cam, which meant that I couldn't see pins 7 in either of the sides. Oh, it's a 7, they're both 7-pin Dimple locks as well. So I used a tip from Lockpicking Lawyer, and I took a lighter to it to just take off the scuffing, and then it came out like this, which I think you'll agree is not bad for a couple of minutes work. So that's what you get in the kit. You get your 8 very well finished Dimple flags, at least for Chinese kits. You get 2 very usable, very nice Z wrenches, and you get a particularly good practice acrylic lock, which you might have to finish off with a lighter if it's a bit scuffed. All of that with the voucher below £14-ish, depending on your, like I said, the currency rate on the day. That's pretty good. Shall we just see them in action briefly? I'll try and vice one of these up. I'll put these to one side. I'm going to probably use a one of these left-handed flags, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick off this warding here and oops, and get onto the pins that way. So let's put all this to one side. Bring my vice in and angle this up. I won't pick this blind because it might be useful for newbies to see what's going on inside the lock. If you're not used to dimple picking and dimple picks and all that kind of malarkey, then hopefully you'll have a reasonable view of what's going on. I'll try and angle it so you can see a little bit of the pins moving up and down and such like. Tension wrenches, well, I'm going to use this flat one here and put that in and put on, make sure that's in tight in my vise, and I'm going to put on some tension onto the lock once I've got this tension wrench in. Make sure, yeah, the core's turning nicely. And let's do a very quick, well, hopefully very quick pick on this. Go to the back onto pin, I believe 7. If I can get onto it, 7. Yep, they'll click on 7. So I think I overset 6. Let's try 5. 4, little click. 3. Onto 2, I believe 2. Yep, and onto 1. Little click on 1. Go back. So 1, 2. Oh, I've lost a couple of those. That's annoying. 1, 2, 3. Got some resistance on 4. 4. Yeah, click on 4, 5, 6, and 7. Go back 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop down again. Down to 1 if I can. 1. Yeah. 2. Oh, I haven't got one open. There we go. So yeah, not bad. I find with these acrylic practice locks, they're only so good to get pick placement and stuff. They pick slightly differently to a standard dimple lock. So they're only as good as they are to kind of as a training aid as opposed to a practice lock, I'd say. But they're still quite good fun. And it's worth just saying, if you ever over rotate one of these and the pins go up into the keyway and you think that you've trapped it and everything's lost, don't panic. This happens a lot with new pickers. It happens to me occasionally. All you need to do is get another flat tension wrench like this, stick it down into the keyway, don't panic, push all the pins down and rotate it back into position. There you go. That wasn't so bad, was it? So if you ever get into that position, don't panic, stick something in, push down the pins, rotate out. There you go. So the only thing to say is that I don't want to give this away. I actually really like this kit and I'd really like to keep hold of it. The problem is I actually have too much kit already and I can't keep everything. So with great reluctance I will give this kit away. So as long as you like, subscribe and comment below. So like, subscribe up there, comment down here. I will do a draw in a week or so's time. All the rules are below, but essentially they're like, you know, my say's final. I'll pick one person randomly. Don't be an idiot and try to put multiple comments down below because they'll be instantly stripped out. You have to like, subscribe and comment below to enter. I will draw one person for everything you see before you. I'll send it to anywhere in the world apart from those territories where I know lock picking equipment or lock picking is illegal, places like Japan. I'm sorry. And also once I do the draw, if you don't claim within 2 weeks, I get to keep the kit or do whatever I want with it because you will forfeit. But yeah, I'll put all the rules and stuff below.